Hello, I'm Angela Antle. Welcome to Atlantic Voice. Over the last decade, February has been a very special month for music in Newfoundland and Labrador. During that month, over 1,000 new albums have been created as part of an international movement called RPM, which stands for Record Production Month. You don't have to be a musician. Anyone can take part. You just have to write and record an album of 10 songs or 35 minutes of original music. There's only one catch. You have to complete your album by the end of February. With 10 years of RPM, there are tons of success stories, awards, and even new music careers. And there are some pretty epic disaster stories as well. The CBC's Alyson Samson visited some of the participants as they struggled to find the time to get their album done.
When you're feeling down and out, when you're feeling blue, when your heart is really glum, here's what you can do.
The Swingin' Bells are Aaron Power, Laura Winter, and Dwayne Andrews. They're a Juno and Canadian Folk Award-winning trio. They got their start through RPM. Both Laura and Aaron are primary school teachers, while Dwayne is a full-time musician. Their RPM disaster tale happened one night when Dwayne was on tour, and the two newbies decided they could handle the recording.
It was the third one, and he taught you, and you were good.
Yeah, he was gone, and so he showed me how to use Logic, and he showed me all these things, and he was like, okay, I'm going to do it! And we set up in the office, and we recorded all weekend, and because we used to write everything, then rehearse it, and then that last few days we would record it.
Yeah, a hard 48 hours, like a serious, intense recording weekend.
And what was it like? We were
It was late at night, and it was Don't Listen to My Mama.
Oh yeah, you were giving her.
Yeah, it was like this blues, like serious blues song that was like, kind of yelping in it. And we were, just totally going for it. And then I think Trixie stepped in to do the harmonies, and she said, guys, this microphone, does it matter which way it goes? And we're like, I don't know. And you're like, I don't know. Because it says, this is the back or this is the front. Whatever it was very clearly labeled. And she was the only, we'd done like 8 out of 10 songs.
Yeah. And when we were listening back, it wasn't like, you could hear that it wasn't like that close microphone sound, but it was thinking like, well, we can fix that in the mix. Well, I don't know how to mix. But in fact, it wasn't the mix at all. It was that we had the microphone backwards the whole time.
Oh! Like 2 in the morning or something.
Oh, it was so bad. It was so bad. But anyway, it was like at that point, that's the great thing about the RPM, is that once you hit that point and you realize that, like, there's no going back. You just go, that's it. And you just balance everything else out so that it makes sense for that to happen, because you're not going to do it again. Like, I think we recorded maybe one song.
Yeah, we definitely did that one again.
Around, yeah. But I don't remember.
At that point, I was almost in tears.
Her voice is like this.
Really vocally, like the hardest songs, we saved it for last. It was like, full of like, ow, and like, this
you
super
were giving her.
And then
I know.
Backwards.
Yeah, but we survived. We're still all friends. But it was really, woo! It was something else. But it's a real, like, there's 2 parts to the RPM. There's the writing of the whole thing, right? And then there's the recording. So even if you get through the writing part, the recording part, like, who knows how to do that, right? And so it's a huge learning curve.
The learning curve was worth it. The Swinging Bells have gone on to win awards and tour the country, and credit RPM with helping them get over their fear of failure. On February 12th, I find Chris Donnelly is sitting on the floor of his friend's living room/recording studio drinking a beer.
Beer for anyone? I got beer as well.
Chris is a drummer in several bands, but he's never written songs of his own, and he's never had to sing before. He's doing RPM to push himself outside his comfort zone.
Just to put myself out there and do something different and try something and just kind of new experiences. Yeah.
While performing and recording is old hat for Chris, finding the right words is new and hard.
The lyrics, like writing this, like the words and being like, is this, I don't know how this sounds. I don't know if it's going to make any sense. I don't know if, So I don't know if it's going to say what I want to say. So something I've never done before.
And it's not just the lyrics. Chris is composing all the music on his RPM album. Not one to shy away from a challenge, he plans to mix himself a full band album, playing and learning to play most of the instruments himself. He has 16 days left to get it finished.
I've dabbled in guitar for a long time. I haven't really played in front of anyone. Just kind of doing it on my own. That's about it. Yeah.
You're playing bass now?
Playing some bass, yeah, trying. We'll see what happens. I don't know. It's going to be a disaster.
While Chris is dabbling and the clock is ticking, I visit Danielle Hamel's basement music studio.
All right, guys, let's go. Mom's doing cool stuff. Let's go.
She might just have better time management skills because she's a mom of 2 boys under 5. Tonight, it's takeout, Swiss chalet chicken for supper.
Come on, we gotta go eat supper, guys. I'm starved.
While they play with toy trucks and watch YouTube videos. Danielle has an ear open from the back room while she gets some work done. Danielle and her husband have a couple of professional CDs under their belt as a band. But last year, Danielle used the RPM to go out on a limb and make her first solo electronic album. It paid off. The RPM became an award-winning album.
I won the Music and L Award for Electronic Artist of the Year. It got longlisted on the Borealis Music Prize. It says, they tell me it was a runner-up, tied runner-up for the shortlist. I just got an ECMA nomination for Electronic Recording of the Year. So I could say maybe I should have done it sooner, but I wouldn't have had the tools to do it sooner.
The tools for Danielle might just be learning the ability to let go and the challenges of finding the time to do anything creative.
In one of our bands before Matthew and I were in Open Fields in Montreal, it got to the point where I was re-recording vocals and piecing together vocal takes word by word. And I think that's when we reached a point of we're overthinking this. There is a point when quality just takes a turn, a downturn, and we've reached that. So it felt like such a relief to just let it go. Let it go. It doesn't have to be perfect. Yeah.
RPM isn't about perfection by any means. It's about motivating yourself to get it done.
Everybody comes at the RPM challenge with different skill sets or different ideas of what they want to accomplish, whether it's something new for them or just to polish up some other kind of skill they have or genre they want to dive into.
Elling Lean took a deep dive 10 years ago when he heard about the RPM challenge. He knew instinctively that it would work in Newfoundland.
Brief history. So I was the editor of the Scope newspaper. We started it up in 2006, and we were looking for inspiring newspapers, community newspapers, especially around the world, really. And one of them was The Wire in New Hampshire. And that year, in 2006, they were doing something called the RPM Challenge for their readers, and they just it went over so well that they turned it into an international challenge. And then we were always like, that'd be amazing here in Newfoundland. So we decided to do that, and brought it here through the Scope in 2008, and the rest is history.
And like the people who make RPM albums, there is no money in this for Elling. The only thing he gets out of this is more music to listen to.
It's been a long, wild ride. It's there've been a lot of albums that have come out of it. A lot of people have got their start that way, and I'm really proud of it. And I'm proud of the people who participate.
Just because RPM is popular doesn't mean it's easy. It's February 20th. Back at Danielle's house, she and her husband Matthew may be practiced songwriters and performers, but they've never done a kids album before. That's what they're attempting to do, and they have exactly 8 days left to finish.
My son, Lachlan, he had a dream where he just kind of surprised us and started talking about a pink rabbit who brought him new clothes, new coat, new hat. So this is the recording of me while driving and thinking up something. So I had to play it. It might be really embarrassing if I play it. It might just be me like,
Who was that pink rabbit? Why did he give you new clothes? He gave you new mitts. He gave you new boots and a new coat.
So that's the minute I came up with that melody. like eureka moments. You have to capture them.
Have you written any lyrics today?
Lyrics today? No, none today.
Have you written many lyrics at all so far? How many songs are you working on right now?
I have ideas for, I believe, 6. Matthew had ideas for 2. He's been fleshing out some of mine. I've been writing lyrics on my lunch break. Like, just quickly. It's good to force yourself just to put something down. I just use my phone to, if I have an idea I really like, you need to record it or you will forget it. So my phone looks like 50 little snippets of, a few seconds, and then I name them. So the next day, if I still like it the next day, then we're good.
For Danielle, coming up with the songs is easy. It's finding the time to record with her 2 active sons at home that is her real RPM challenge.
These guys being in the house was definitely a struggle because we can't record when they're here. So I actually called up my mom, he's doing like renovations on her house and busy. Can I just drop the kids off? I need to get this done. That was the last day we had to work on it. And I thought, there's physically not enough hours in the day to record everything.
It's February 23rd, just 5 days left, and Chris, our songwriting drummer, is not even close to finishing writing yet.
The next one I'm going to work on, I don't know. Everything is kind of scattered right now. The music has been pretty easy to do. Not easy, but it's come easier than, writing lyrics. I find lyrics are the hard part. I know what I want to get out, I just can't get out exactly what I'm feeling, so I find that a struggle. Tripping on the thoughts inside my head like clouds. Walking around with my head in the clouds like clouds. Coming around this town for way too long. Holding on to
Writing lyrics for the first time is giving Chris a new understanding of what his bandmates go through.
I think the thing now is I have a newfound appreciation, like we were saying before, that songwriting is a huge process.
This is my guitar.
Can you describe it? Tell everybody you can't see it what it looks like. What color is it?
Blue.
And what else?
It's black and white.
4-year-old Maggie Holden is fearless. With her bright blonde hair and big blue eyes, Maggie bounces all over her eclectic downtown St. John's home, singing and improvising along as we listen to her songs that she recorded for RPM. She heard about it from her babysitter, a musician.
All right, ready?
We've been friends for so long, no one can stop us. Because we've been friends for so long, no one can stop us. Your turn. Sure.
We've been friends for so long, no one can stop us. We've been friends for so long, no one can stop us. We met on Pennywell Road, you were so tiny. Now we're on Barnes Road and you're getting bigger all the time. We've been friends for so long, no one can stop us. Sing with me.
I did love singing songs. When Mom says I need to go somewhere, instead of getting ready, I just sing. No, first I need to do this. Notice.
It's February 24th. There are just 4 days left to the RPM finish line. Maggie already has her CD ready to go, complete with hand-drawn cover art of all her friends and family, as black stick figures surrounded by lots of colorful swirls.
Hi, I'm Emily. I'm Maggie's mom.
Wow, she has 18 songs?
Yeah, she just kept going. It was her idea. She said, I want to make some songs. And I said, oh, yeah, it's February. Why don't I just record them? And then she just kept going. And I was like, well, we've got an album.
Lots of musical instruments lying around the upstairs music room. Maggie's blue guitar, a ukulele, and a teeny tiny violin that Maggie is excited to demonstrate for me.
Twinkle, twinkle, little star. Feet apart. Twinkle, twinkle, little star. Up above the sky so high. Like a diamond in the sky.
Well, actually, it's her dad that does the violin lessons. I have no patience for it. And she and I did an RPM when she was 6 months old, just for fun, because I know nothing about music. So we just did it for fun. And actually, our friends who were here did it with us for a couple of the songs. And so this year, she's just been singing a lot of songs on her own, having fun. And I still had the recording equipment. So we just started recording, and then she did 18 songs.
There's 1 day left to go to the end of the month. Back at Danielle Hamel's house, she's lost her voice, but she's got her RPM finished. Even when you've done one RPM, it's easy to underestimate the amount of work.
It's such a whirlwind, the last week when you get to crunch time and you realize I have to do all the vocals.
How's your voice?
The first night we decided to do them, I couldn't breathe in because of the tickle in my throat. And every time I would try to take a breath to sing again and be like, off.
That one night was a write-off for Danielle, but she managed to get it done with 48 hours to spare.
So every year it's the same feeling of absolutely incredulous that you were able to accomplish something in a month you never previously thought possible. Normally in a month you might just watch a TV show, and that's your big accomplishment for the month. It just blows your mind how much you can do when you set your mind to it and you have the motivation to do so. And that's what I find the RPM Challenge does, is it gives you a little motivation just to do something that you otherwise would not have done that month. We have a song about cookies being okay sometimes and what's healthy. That sprung from realizing that I actually have to tell my kids what's healthy and what's not, otherwise they think everything is good for them.
Broccoli is healthy and carrots are very healthy, and zucchini is good for you and snappies, they are healthy. Corn on the cob is healthy and sweet potato is healthy. Brussels sprouts are good for you, chickpeas are delicious and healthy. And did you eat your eggplant? You will feel bad if you haven't had some healthy foods in your lunch, something good for you in your lunch. Would you like a fried egg or a scrambled poached or boiled egg? Because all of them will give to you the energy they get. And cookies are okay sometimes. And cookies are okay sometimes.
It's March 1st. The RPM finish line is at Rocket Bakery on Water Street. The owners are big art supporters. They have a photo booth, posters, and a big collection box. All day long, exhausted people are showing up to drop their CDs in the box, and they're getting hugs and applause from everybody around. Emily is here with 4-year-old Maggie, who wants an RPM cookie for her artistic labors.
She was sort of excited, but she's like as excited that she was going to get a cookie, and she did. Actually, she was asking. She was like a little like nervous when I said we were dropping off the CD. She was like, "But you're going to make it just like that for me, right? So I have my own." She really...
Elling Lean is our RPM expert. I caught up with him at the rocket finish line and asked him why he thinks RPM has taken a hold here in Newfoundland.
I don't know. I think it's like a magic combination of many, many different things. I think people, because of the isolation, we're used to making music for fun and for ourselves and for our community, and so that's not a strange idea. In bigger centers or in other centers, that's kind of less of a thing, I guess. The weather is bad, so February people don't like to go outside, so they got to figure out something to do inside.
So we have all the components.
Yeah, and of course the history of Newfoundland, like Newfoundland and Labrador culture, like is so musically based, and it's just like breathing, like water, you know. It's like all around us. People just love doing it and love sharing it with other people. So that's another big reason why the RPM is such a success here.
Danielle Hamel and her 2 kids come in through the door, looking well rested and refreshed.
Taking it easy now, yeah.
How does it feel to come down and hand it in?
Yeah, this is a great moment. This is when you get to be excited, you get to see everybody.
Are you feeling relieved?
Yeah, definitely relieved.
Yeah. What's your last thought before you toss it in the bin?
I want to get a good photo of the moment, just to cherish the moment.
What do you have to say to anybody who didn't get their RPM finished?
Are you banned?
It's about the journey. No, it's about you tried and attempted. I tried 2 years ago and I never finished it. You know, it happens. Life gets in the way. Things aren't working out as well as you hoped, and you just get discouraged. But there's always next year.
I was looking around for our songwriting drummer Chris, but I didn't see him at the finish line. I met up with him later.
I kind of forgot about the deadline. I'm not stressing about it. And it's funny, I never really did stress about it ever, I don't think. I was like, I did want to get it finished by the deadline. But, yeah, it was more about doing the whole thing and getting my songs written and, yeah, trying it. I thought it would be cool, yeah, to be part of like a little bit of a community of other RPMers who've done it. But, yeah, I don't know. I think I'm okay. I'm okay with it. It's going to come out no matter what. And, you know, even when it does come out, I can be like, hey, this was what I was trying to do for the RPM. But here it is.
Oh, life, it's like I'm walking in a dream. These days I'm not the night owl that I used to be. I let it ring, I didn't wanna talk about anything. Standing here out on Cape Spear, the city lights just disappear. The city lights just disappear. Daylight just disappears. The city lights just disappear.
So it really doesn't matter if Chris finished his album within the RPM deadline. I asked him if RPM helped him improve his songwriting.
I have one finished completely, and I have, I guess, 3 others that are on the brink, probably. Pretty close, yeah. To do it all the time, I can't imagine. I guess, like, you know, when you do it all the time, you get a little bit more comfortable probably with your own voice, and you know kind of how to work a song. But doing it on my own for the first time really has kind of been like, yeah, it's like, I don't know, maybe I'm overthinking things, but it's been really difficult. And yeah, a newfound appreciation definitely for people who write songs. It's hard work. It's hard.
Lights up the sky on a February night. Standing here out on Cape Spear, the city lights just disappear.
At the end of February, when all the albums are finished and submitted, they're totaled up, and this year's numbers are in. 130 albums were submitted to the RPM Challenge in Newfoundland and Labrador in 2017, bringing the 10-year anniversary total up to 1,066 new albums of original music. I'm Alyson Samson in St. John's.
Our thanks to Alyson Samson for bringing us that documentary about the RPM Challenge. That's all the time we have for the show this week. Atlantic Voice is produced by Stuart Young. I'm Angela Antle. Thanks for listening.